All right, friends. Good morning. Time for another excerpt from Aunt Barb's Magic Oven. Let's see. This one, yeah, we're starting. Yeah, it's starting to get totally out of control now, but it's good. Yeah, in a good way. Yes. What's the term people use? All hell's breaking loose. Well, all heaven's about to break loose, and I'll tell you right now, when heaven starts to break loose, look out, Mama. Well, you'll see. This is going to be great. Oh, my. Okay, here we go. Aunt Barb's Magic Oven. I think this is chapter 23. 23. Oh, and there's many more to go. It's called We All Get Our Marching Orders. Okay. Again, this is all right now taking place in Aunt Barb and Uncle Bill's living room. In attendance are, well, my family members, many of them. Not all, but many. Let's see. President Reagan, Pope Paul, and it's all back in the early 80s, and an angel named Gabe. Okay. We're having a meeting about the upcoming event, Thanksgiving Day. Okay. Okay, marching orders. Gabe turned to President Reagan. Gabe's the angel. Okay. Gabe turned to President Reagan. Okay, Ron, you've alerted all the world leaders about today's events, right? The president shook his head yes and went on to say that all of the world leaders were fine with the plans. Many said how it'd be great to have a day where we all just sat around feasting on turkey dinner and not worrying about one country or the other starting World War III. Some even said that it might be worth it to hold a meeting someday soon and to maybe arrange some kind of weekly stand down. It'd be a kind of breathing spell, if you will. Maybe the world's countries could trade their cuisine with one another. Like one Monday, the world could have Albanian food, and then, which, by the way, I think is pretty good. And the next week, maybe Chinese. The idea of a worldwide pizza and movie night was also bandied about. President Reagan felt like things might be looking up. My 5 cousins all chimed in that they were pretty sure the Coney Island hot dog store and the other chili dog places in Newcastle would be happy to work with the world on a hot dog and fries night, maybe on Wednesdays. It's kind of a slow day, Wednesdays. It would be one heck of a to-go order, but the kids figured it'd be worth it for world peace. My 5 cousins all chimed in that they were pretty sure. Oh, no, okay. We already did that one. President Reagan wrote down the info as Gabe continued speaking. Those are great ideas, kids. I can see that we're all on the same page here. So, Mr. President, the militaries are all on stand down for today. Actually, with all that they'll be eating, well, they're going to be pretty unfit for duty tomorrow as well. Turkey can make a guy pretty sleepy. All the leaders and forces are all leaders and forces alerted that once we start the party, Mike here is also going to temporarily eliminate darkness. The president shook his head yes, as I shook my head in disbelief. Gabe noted and smiled. Everyone else laughed. My mom looked a bit worried too. Mom and I were the worriers in the family. Mom fretted out loud something about what if I goofed up and couldn't get night to come back. We'd be stuck with no nights and the world would get too hot. Mom remembered the time I was messing with an antique radio I was trying to rebuild, and I knocked out the lights in our town. I kind of wanted to say something too, but the Pope gently interrupted us both. He raised his hand and assured Mom that I'd do just fine, or else. To the others, the basic directions were that card tables were needed. They had to be set up outside on the street. My father and Uncle Bill were in charge of cocktails and beer. They were both up to the challenge. Aunt Barb and her sisters were going to put the food together. The kids were going to help with the dishes and walking the food out to the tables. He told us not to worry. Where help was needed, help would be provided. As an example, Gabe said that dishwashing would be easy as pie. All that the kids had to do is put the dishes in the utensils in the sink and then stand back and holler, whoopee. A giant green cloud would then swirl out of the pile and fly out the back door. With that, the dishes would be spotless and need no drying. Yeah. No watermarks on, no scuff marks on the glasses either. No. Gabe did say for them to be sure that the kitchen back door was opened, or there'd be a real mess on the floor. Okay, that cloud has to get out. Okay, he said this is how dishes got done in heaven. He also whispered to the kids that he'd let them use the cloud to clean up Sunday dinner, even after Thanksgiving was over. That was a hit with the kids. Gabe asked the kids to be sure, my cousins, to be sure and leave a little room among the card tables out on the street so that a TV sound truck could get through. He then looked at me and said that I'd be going on air to address the entire world in 29 minutes. He looked at his watch. Yes, we could hear the television control truck turning onto Carson Street. I started to look like I was going to barf. Actually, I did barf, but just a little. Yeah. Gabe stepped over to me and smiled. He placed something in my right hand and closed my fingers around it. I opened my hand and saw that Gabe had given me a tiny gift. It was a tiny little golden pin of a cross. Gee, it was only about that big. Yeah. Wait a minute. That big, not big at all. Okay. And it was a tiny little cross, all covered with little, it was gold and covered with little jewels. It sure was gaudy and not at all like the simple wooden cross pin that Gabe wore on his collar. He said I'd have to put it on all by myself when the time came, but for now, he suggested that I just stick it in my pocket. Well, at least I didn't have to barf anymore. Okay. Well, there you go, friends. That's one more segment. We'll do another tomorrow. Okay. We'll see you later. God bless and see you for now.